talking about problems with idioms. Okay, let's look at number one. My grandmother always says that a problem shared is a problem halved. This is a really good idiom. Basically what it's saying is, when you have a problem, if you're finding it difficult to find a solution to the problem, the best thing you can do is talk to somebody else. Because by letting somebody else give you advice, you can quite often find a solution to the problem. There's another meaning to it also. When you have a problem, that problem might seem huge, really, really big. But when you talk about the problem to another person, quite often you get an opportunity to put the problem in perspective, to see it for what it really is. And quite often, problems are never as bad as we think they are. So, if you have a problem, talk about it. Number two, you should never bury your head in the sand when you have a problem. Well, if you bury your head in the sand, you can't see what's coming. Okay, this one is an idiom connected to a similar idiom which involves an ostrich, which is a big bird that runs very fast. And supposedly when ostriches are afraid, instead of running away from danger, they bury their head in the sand, hoping the problem will go away. Okay, so the meaning here is very simple. If there's a problem, you need to face up to it. You need to acknowledge it. You can't just ignore it and hope it will go away. Number three, whenever something is wrong, you should always try to get to the root of it. Now, a root is what you find underground at the base of a plant or a tree. So the meaning here is, if you have a problem, it's really important to find out what the actual problem is. What is causing the problem? What is the starting point or the origin of the problem? Number four, it's not good to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, as it leads to poor health, sadness, and often loneliness. To carry the weight of the world on your shoulders means that you are carrying lots and lots of problems, or you're carrying one big problem, or you're carrying other people's problems for them. And what this is saying is, you shouldn't carry lots of responsibility or lots of problems on your shoulders. The best thing to do is share your problems with other people and try and sort out your problems as soon as possible. Number five, whenever you're having a tough time, you should always look on the bright side of life. I love this idiom. It's basically saying, look, if you're having a tough time, a difficult time, don't be negative, don't be pessimistic, be optimistic. Number six, if you are worried about a potential future problem, it's better to cross that bridge when you come to it. This one is a brilliant idiom. Basically, if you are trying to do something like sort out a holiday, if you're in business and you're trying to resolve a problem, if you're planning something and you or one of your colleagues is looking into the future and saying, if we do this now, I predict a future problem, then what you can say to them is, look, let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's not worry about that problem now. If that problem arises in the future, then we will look at it, then we will deal with it, then we will resolve it. Number seven, never stew on anything. It's far better to get something out into the open, so it can be discussed and sorted out. To stew on something. Stew is a meal with gravy, meat, vegetables. And when you make a stew, you put all of the ingredients into a pot and you leave it to cook slowly for a very, very long time. So the meaning here is, if you have a problem, don't think about it over and over again for a long time. If you have a problem, it's better to say you have a problem, to discuss it, to get it out into the open, to share it. Okay, then you can discuss it, talk about it, and sort it out, resolve the problem. Finally, number 8. People who are having relationship difficulties should never paper over the cracks. To paper over the cracks, this is a reference to doing DIY or decorating your house. Okay, sometimes what people do when they're selling their houses, if they have cracks in the walls and they can't paint over the cracks and make them disappear, they quite often put up wallpaper, and the wallpaper disguises the fact that there are cracks in the wall. And obviously cracks in the wall mean that the house is not in a good structure. Therefore, if you paper over the cracks, you're pretending there isn't a problem, when actually there is. Thanks for listening.